There is a law, unseen yet unbroken, that governs every vibration of life, the law of the spoken word. Every word is a seed, and the universe is the rich soil that never fails to bring forth what you plant. When you speak of lack, the soil hears you and multiplies lack. When you speak of abundance, it rises to meet your call with overflowing gifts. You are not a beggar at the gates of fortune. You are the voice that opens them. Many people call for wealth as though it were a stranger in the night, distant and uncertain. They say, "I need money. I wish I were prosperous. I hope something good happens." But the universe does not respond to need, wish, or hope. It responds to certainty. It echoes the tone of your belief. The moment you call wealth by its name, with faith instead of fear, the universe begins to rearrange itself to bring your good to you. To call wealth by its name is to recognize that abundance is already yours in the invisible. Just as the seed knows the flower within it, your spoken word knows the prosperity waiting in your unseen world. You do not have to chase it, for what is truly yours cannot flee. You simply have to declare it with conviction. Say, "Divine wealth is mine now. Every door of supply is open. Money, success, and opportunity flow to me in perfect order." Speak it, believe it, and act as though it were already done, for in truth it is. Your words are your wands. They shape the invisible substance of life. Every "I am" you utter sends a signal to creation. When you say, "I am poor," you have called poverty by name, and it answers faithfully. When you say, "I am prosperous," the very atoms of the air begin to dance to your command. The law of attraction is not a mystery. It is the mathematics of spirit. Whatever you name comes. Do not speak of debt, lack, or limitation, for these are false gods. They hold no real power unless you feed them with your attention. Speak only of what you desire. Bless every bill, for it proves that you have received. Bless every dollar, for it is a messenger of abundance. Bless the prosperity of others, for what you praise in them you call forth in yourself. The universe is a listening ear, wide open to the tone of your consciousness. It hears your faith, not your fear. It feels your certainty, not your complaints. The divine substance of wealth is waiting for your command, as a loyal servant waits for the word of its master. You are that master. When you call wealth by its name, it must obey, for it knows your voice. Stand tall in your word, and speak as one who already possesses the riches of heaven. Say, "Everything I desire is already mine in divine right order." Say it until your words and your world agree, for the universe is listening, and it always answers the call that is made in faith. Every word you speak carries the vibration of creation. Words are not empty sounds, they are living forces, clothed with energy and intent. When you speak, you are giving shape to the invisible. Your words become the molds through which the unseen substance of the universe takes form. This is why it is said that words are seeds that shape your reality. Every statement, every affirmation, every casual utterance is a command to the creative power that governs all life. Whether you speak consciously or unconsciously, you are always creating. The soil of the universe does not judge the seed, it simply brings forth what is planted. When you plant the seeds of doubt, worry, and fear, the universe faithfully produces experiences that match them. When you plant the seeds of confidence, gratitude, and abundance, it brings forth circumstances that mirror those higher vibrations. The law is impersonal, it reflects you perfectly. The tongue, though small, directs the whole course of your life as a rudder steers a mighty ship. Many people speak carelessly, unaware that their words carry creative power. They declare, "I can't afford that, money never stays with me, good things never happen to me," and then wonder why the same patterns repeat. The universe is simply obeying the command encoded in their speech. To speak differently is to sow differently. When you begin to choose words that uplift, expand, and affirm your good, you alter the entire landscape of your life. Each positive declaration plants a new seed in the soil of infinite possibility. But it is not enough to merely speak empty phrases. The seed must be charged with belief, emotion, and expectancy. You cannot plant one thing while feeling another and expect it to grow. A word spoken without faith is like a seed left on the surface of the soil. It never takes root. But when you speak from conviction, the vibration travels through the ethers and magnetizes the conditions necessary to bring your word into form. Every thought wrapped in speech becomes a decree. The subconscious mind, like fertile ground, accepts the word as truth. It does not question or resist. It simply brings forth whatever is impressed upon it. Therefore, your spoken word is the channel through which invisible forces flow into visible expression. To say, "I am prosperous," is not merely wishful thinking. It is an act of spiritual planting. You are placing the seed of prosperity into the fertile ground of consciousness. Over time, that seed will germinate and bear fruit in the form of opportunities, ideas, connections, and manifestations aligned with your declaration. Consider how easily we speak of what we do not desire. The casual complaint, the self-deprecating remark, the fearful prediction. These are seeds too, and they sprout in due season. The universe takes everything you say seriously because it recognizes the creative power within you. There is no idle word in the language of spirit. Every utterance is a cause set in motion. If you constantly declare limitation, you will live within it. If you declare freedom, expansion, and abundance, you will experience their unfolding. The wise gardener does not dig up the seed to see if it is growing. Likewise, once you have spoken your word, you must not contradict it. Many people plant the seed of abundance in the morning and uproot it by the afternoon with words of doubt. They say, "I am wealthy and blessed," and later sigh, "Nothing ever works for me." In doing so, they cancel their own decree. The creative law responds to consistency and faith. Hold steadfast to your spoken word. Let it stand as a living truth, not as a passing thought. Your words must align with your vision. If you desire prosperity, speak only prosperity. If you wish to attract love, speak only love. Do not describe conditions as they are. Speak them as you desire them to be. The spoken word lifts the invisible into form, so speak of your life as already fulfilled. Say, "My path is clear," even if confusion surrounds you. Say, "I am richly supplied," even if your pockets are empty. The spoken word does not describe, it creates. You do not wait for evidence before you speak. Your speech calls the evidence into being. Think of every word as a living messenger that goes forth to prepare your way. When you say, "I am successful," you send forth success to meet you. When you say, "Everything works in my favor," unseen forces begin to align for your good. The more consistently you affirm your desired reality, the stronger its vibration becomes. The universe echoes your declarations and rearranges itself to match your tone. Speech is not merely communication, it is invocation. Every time you speak, you summon the corresponding energy into your experience. This is why you must guard your tongue as you would guard a treasure. Do not allow careless or negative speech to go forth unchecked. If you speak against yourself or your desires, you plant weeds in your garden of manifestation. Every criticism, complaint, and fearful statement drains your creative power. Train yourself to speak with intention. Before uttering a word, ask, "Do I want this to grow?" If not, remain silent. Silence can be more powerful than negative speech, for it keeps the soil undisturbed until you are ready to plant something worthy. Your words carry vibration, and vibration shapes form. Speak as though you are casting spells of creation, because you are. The ancient teachers knew this truth and guarded it carefully. The phrase abracadabra comes from an Aramaic expression meaning, "I create as I speak." This is not fantasy, it is the law of life. The world you live in is the sum total of the words you have spoken, believed, and allowed to take root in your subconscious. If your current life is not to your liking, change your language. Change the words you speak to yourself each day. Replace every complaint with an affirmation. Replace every "I can't" with "I can." Replace every "it's hard" with "it's unfolding perfectly." As your words change, your vibration changes, and your vibration attracts new circumstances that mirror your new speech. Words not only shape external conditions, they shape inner consciousness. When you speak affirmations of power, faith, and abundance, you strengthen those qualities within yourself. You begin to think differently, feel differently, and act differently. The subconscious mind records every declaration and adjusts your perceptions to align with it. The more you affirm your good, the more natural it feels to live in that state. Soon, the outer world simply catches up with your inner conviction. It is important to understand that words spoken with emotion have multiplied power. A word charged with enthusiasm, gratitude, or love carries far more creative force than one spoken mechanically. Feel the truth of what you say. Let your whole being vibrate with the energy of your declaration. When you speak prosperity, feel prosperous. When you speak peace, feel the calm of it settling within you. The universe responds not only to your words but to the emotional charge behind them. Your words are not only seeds, they are bridges between the visible and the invisible. Every sentence is a thread connecting thought to manifestation. When you speak, you are drawing unseen energy into form, weaving it into the fabric of your reality. This is why it is essential to speak deliberately as a conscious creator. Do not waste the sacred power of your voice on fear, gossip, or limitation. Each time you open your mouth, you are directing the creative flow of the universe toward one outcome or another. To master your speech is to master your life. The moment you realize that every word is a seed, you begin to speak with reverence and purpose. You understand that you are the sower of your own destiny, and your world is the harvest of your spoken thoughts. Each word that leaves your lips today becomes the experience that greets you tomorrow. Speak then as one who knows the creative law and trusts it completely. Speak with clarity, faith, and joy, for your words are the architects of your world. The universe is a perfect mirror, responding not to what you wish, but to what you believe. It listens not to the trembling sound of fear, but to the calm authority of faith. Every thought you hold, every word you speak is a signal sent into the field of creation, and the tone of that signal determines the form of your return. When you act, think, and speak from faith, you are declaring that the good you desire already exists. You align yourself with the rhythm of the divine, where all things are complete and provided for. But when you speak from fear, you cut yourself off from that current. Fear vibrates at the frequency of separation, while faith vibrates at the frequency of union with the infinite. Faith is not blind hope or wishful thinking. Faith is the knowing that even before you ask, it is given. It is the certainty that what you desire exists in the unseen and is moving toward you through channels known and unknown. When you hold this conviction, the universe bends to your belief. It listens for the vibration of assurance and mirrors it back in form. This is the great law of correspondence. As within, so without. Your outer world always echoes the tone of your inner conviction. Many people cry out for help from a place of fear and wonder why nothing changes. They pray in desperation, speak in anxiety, and act in doubt. But the universe cannot translate fear into abundance. It can only return to you the frequency you send out. Fear says, I do not have. Faith says, I already possess. Faith flings it wide open. When you stand in faith, you stand in harmony with the creative law that governs all things. You become a magnet for good, drawing it to you without struggle or strain. Faith is the language of divine substance. It speaks in assurance, gratitude, and confidence. When you give thanks for your good before it arrives, you are announcing to the universe that you believe in its presence. Gratitude is the song of faith. It tells creation, I know you have heard me, and I trust your perfect timing. Every time you choose faith over fear, you shift realities, you step out of limitation and into alignment with the limitless. Fear, on the other hand, is the great disruptor. It blocks the natural flow of abundance, health, and peace. It whispers that you are separate, unworthy, or forgotten. It makes you cling, grasp, and worry. But fear is nothing more than misplaced faith. faith in the wrong outcome. It is belief in the shadow rather than the light. The remedy for fear is not resistance, but transformation. You do not fight fear, you dissolve it by turning your attention back to faith. When you remember that the same power that holds the stars in orbit also holds your destiny, fear loses its hold. The universe is impartial, but it is exquisitely sensitive. It takes the vibration of your heart as the command. If you say, "I want abundance," but deep inside you tremble with doubt, the universe feels the trembling more than the words. It hears the fear, not the sentence. Your emotions are the true language of creation. The energy of belief carries your words into manifestation. That is why you must cultivate the feeling of faith until it becomes second nature. Faith is not something you try to have. It is something you remember you already possess. It is your natural state before the world taught you to fear. To live in faith is to live in the invisible first. You do not wait for proof before you believe. You believe, and the proof appears. Faith is a seed planted in the unseen, and it draws to itself all the elements needed for growth. Every time you affirm your trust in the divine process, you water that seed. Every time you doubt, you dry the soil around it. The gardener of the soul knows that the harvest cannot be rushed. Faith holds steady even when nothing seems to move. It whispers, "All is unfolding perfectly, even when I cannot see the path." When you hold faith in the midst of appearances that contradict it, you exercise the highest form of mastery. Anyone can believe when things are easy. True faith stands firm when everything seems lost. It is in those moments that the universe tests the strength of your vibration. If you remain unwavering, creation must bow to your certainty. The invisible world rearranges itself to match the pattern of your belief. This is not superstition, it is divine law. Faith speaks a language that commands substance. It does not plead or beg, it declares. It knows that every desire is a divine idea seeking expression through you. You are not asking for something outside yourself, you are calling forth what already exists within. When you say, "I am provided for," you activate the law of supply. When you say, "I am guided," you open the channel of wisdom. Every word spoken in faith is a signal to the infinite intelligence that governs all things. The energy of fear sends mixed signals. It says, "I want this, but I don't believe I can have it." It is a divided vibration, and the universe cannot deliver clarity from confusion. Faith, on the other hand, is one-pointed. It says, "This is mine now," and everything begins to move toward that declaration. The moment you speak from unwavering trust, doors open, coincidences align, people appear, and the right circumstances begin to form. The outer world reshapes itself around the inner certainty of your belief. When fear arises, as it sometimes will, you do not condemn yourself, you simply remember the truth. Fear has no real substance. It is the shadow cast by your imagination when it turns away from light. Bring your awareness back to the divine order of things. Remember that the universe has never failed to bring dawn after darkness, spring after winter, and abundance after apparent lack. The same law that governs nature governs your life. You are part of that rhythm. The more you trust it, the more it reveals its perfection. Faith must be practiced. It grows with use, like a muscle. Begin by affirming the good in small things. Notice how life supports you in subtle ways. A kind word, a timely call, a small opportunity. Each acknowledgement strengthens your trust in the larger flow. Speak faith daily, even before your mind believes it fully. Your subconscious listens, and over time your vibration shifts from doubt to certainty. The universe responds to that shift like a tuning fork resonating with its true note. You cannot hold faith and fear in the same space. One must yield to the other. Every moment you choose faith, you reclaim your creative power. Every time you let fear dominate, you hand that power away. But even then, the universe remains patient, always ready to respond the instant your vibration returns to faith. The divine law does not punish, it simply reflects. When you align with the energy of trust, the reflection becomes radiant. Faith is not loud, it is steady. It does not demand proof, it knows proof will come. It does not waver with the winds of circumstance. It stands as a mountain in the midst of storm. When you embody this inner stillness, the outer world bends around your calm. The things you once chased begin to flow toward you, drawn by the magnetic pull of your conviction. This is the secret known to every master of manifestation. The universe responds to the unwavering tone of faith, not to the scattered cries of fear. Fear is the illusion of separation, while faith is the remembrance of unity. When you walk in faith, you walk in harmony with the infinite intelligence that governs all life. You begin to see that everything, even what once appeared as loss or delay, is part of the divine orchestration of your good. Each moment of trust strengthens the connection between your soul and the universal mind. As that connection deepens, miracles become natural occurrences, not exceptions. You cease to struggle because you understand that the universe was never against you. It was only waiting for you to believe. To speak abundance as though it already exists is to step into the creative current of life itself. Every manifestation begins as a word, a thought, a vibration, before it takes shape in the visible. The unseen is the parent of the seen, and when you speak as though your good is already yours, you call it forth from the invisible realm into form. This is the secret language of creation, not of hope, but of knowing. You do not wait for proof before you affirm your abundance. You speak the proof into existence through the authority of your word. The universe responds, not to what you wish for, but to what you embody. When your words carry the tone of completion, the law of manifestation answers with fulfillment. To speak abundance as though it already exists is not pretending, it is aligning. You are not deceiving yourself when you declare your prosperity before it appears. You are speaking from the higher plane of truth, where all things are already accomplished. The spiritual realm contains every good you could ever desire: wealth, love, health, opportunity, and your word is the bridge that brings those realities into the physical. When you say, "I am abundant now," you are not making a future promise. You are acknowledging an eternal fact. You are saying yes to the divine supply that is forever flowing, waiting only for your recognition. The law of assumption works silently through this principle. Whatever you assume as true becomes the mold into which life must pour itself. When you assume abundance, when you speak it as a living reality, your actions, thoughts, and opportunities align with that vibration. You begin to think like one who already has, and therefore you attract more of what you affirm. Lack cannot exist in the consciousness of abundance. The moment you claim your wealth in word and thought, you withdraw your energy from limitation. The invisible world rearranges itself to match your conviction. When you speak of your good as if it were distant, you keep it at a distance. You say, "I will have, I hope to get, one day I'll be successful," and so you push it into tomorrow. But the universe has no tomorrow. It knows only now. The only creative moment is this one. To say, "I have abundance now," is to command the power of the present moment, which is the only point of access to the infinite. The divine hears your declaration and rushes to fulfill it in ways beyond your understanding. When you say it with faith, the entire field of creation conspires to make your words flesh. Speaking abundance as though it already exists also transforms your internal atmosphere. It reconditions your subconscious mind, which governs 90% of your experience. The subconscious cannot distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply accepts whatever you repeatedly declare as truth. When you affirm wealth, it begins to expect wealth. It directs your attention toward opportunities, people, and ideas that align with your declaration. You start to notice chances that others miss because your inner radar is tuned to abundance. Every affirmation is a seed planted in this inner garden, and the harvest depends on the consistency of your planting. You must therefore speak abundance daily, deliberately, and joyfully. Say it aloud with the certainty of ownership. Everything I need comes to me easily. Money flows freely and continuously. I live in a sea of prosperity. These words are not mere sounds. They are vibrations that carve new patterns in your reality. The more often you speak them, the deeper they sink into your consciousness until your mind no longer entertains lack as a possibility. Then abundance becomes your natural state, and life begins to mirror your inner transformation. To speak abundance as though it already exists is to walk in gratitude before the harvest. Gratitude is the language of completion. When you give thanks for what has not yet appeared, you declare that it is already done in spirit. Gratitude magnetizes fulfillment because it assumes that there is already something to be grateful for. Say, "Thank you for the wealth that surrounds me. Thank you for the constant flow of prosperity in my life." This energy of thanksgiving dissolves resistance, and the divine law responds by multiplying what you bless. It is not your words alone that create, it is the belief and emotion behind them. Speak abundance not as a demand, but as a declaration of harmony with divine law. Feel the reality of what you say. When you affirm wealth, feel the comfort, freedom, and generosity that wealth brings. When you affirm success, feel the ease and confidence of achievement. Your emotions imprint your words with magnetic force. The universe responds to that vibration, not to the empty sound of words without conviction. Many people speak of abundance while secretly believing in lack. They say, "I am prosperous," yet their hearts whisper, "I don't believe it." That inner contradiction cancels the command. You must bring your feeling into agreement with your words. This is why faith is the foundation of creation. Faith transforms words into living energy. Speak with faith until your emotions catch up with your declaration. Over time, repetition and feeling will unite, and your spoken word will become a living law in your experience. Speaking abundance as though it already exists also requires you to let go of complaint and limitation. Every time you speak about what you do not have, you water the seed of lack. You cannot affirm abundance in the morning and complain about scarcity at night. The two vibrations cannot coexist. If you wish to live in abundance, refuse to speak against it in any form. Do not discuss what you cannot afford, what is missing, or what is wrong. Speak only of what is working, what is flowing, and what is expanding. The moment you stop giving energy to lack, it begins to dissolve. Your words are creative decrees, and the universe is the obedient servant of your declarations. It takes you at your word and mirrors your spoken reality. When you consistently speak abundance, even in the face of appearances that contradict it, you exercise dominion over form. Appearances are temporary. The word is eternal. Speak abundance until the world must yield to the authority of your declaration. You do not describe the world as it is, you declare it as it shall be, and it becomes so. Speaking as though your good already exists does not mean ignoring current reality. It means refusing to be confined by it. You acknowledge the facts, but stand firm in the truth that transcends them. The fact may be that your bank account is low, but the truth is that divine supply is unlimited. The fact may be that opportunities seem scarce, but the truth is that infinite intelligence always makes a way. When you speak from truth rather than fact, you call forth miracles from the invisible. You must also act in harmony with your words. To speak abundance while living in fear contradicts your own decree. Act as though you already possess what you desire. Give generously, move confidently. Dress as one who expects good. Your actions reinforce your vibration, and your vibration determines your results. When your words, feelings, and actions agree, nothing can stand in the way of your manifestation. The greatest secret of all creation is this: you do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. Speaking abundance as though it already exists transforms you into the embodiment of abundance. It shifts your identity from a seeker to a receiver. You cease to chase and begin to magnetize. You walk with quiet assurance, knowing that what you desire is already flowing toward you through perfect channels. You no longer beg or hope, you simply declare and allow. The universe recognizes the tone of certainty. When you speak as one who already has, creation moves with precision to uphold your word. Every particle of energy responds to the authority of your conviction. The more you speak from fullness, the less room there is for emptiness. Life fills every space that faith creates. When your consciousness is saturated with abundance, lack has no place to enter. Your world then becomes a reflection of your inner declaration, rich, radiant, and overflowing in every direction. To bless all forms of wealth and prosperity is to align yourself with the eternal law of increase. What you bless expands, what you condemn contracts. When you bless the good you see in others, you call that same good into your own experience. Every act of blessing is a declaration of harmony with abundance, a recognition that divine supply flows through all things and all people. The universe does not distinguish between your prosperity and another's. It recognizes only the vibration of appreciation. When you bless wealth, you harmonize yourself with its frequency. You affirm that you are one with the infinite source, from which all prosperity flows. To bless is not merely to say kind words, it is to release positive creative energy. The word bless means to speak well of, to consecrate, to make sacred. When you bless something, you raise its vibration and your own. You send forth a wave of good that inevitably returns to you multiplied. To bless money is to acknowledge it as divine substance in visible form. When you handle it with gratitude and respect, it becomes magnetized with higher energy. It begins to circulate more freely, flowing back to you through countless channels. Money, like everything else, responds to the vibration of thought. When you love and bless it, it loves and blesses you in return. Blessing transforms the energy of envy into the energy of expansion. When you see another person prosper, rejoice for them. Their abundance is proof that abundance exists. Their success shows that the law of increase is active and available to all. To envy or resent their good is to cut yourself off from your own flow. The universe interprets jealousy as resistance. It cannot deliver to you what you secretly condemn. But when you bless the prosperity of others, you align yourself with the same stream of good that flows through them. You silently declare, "What blesses them, blesses me also." Every time you bless, you affirm that the universe is abundant and unfailing. You recognize that wealth is not limited or exclusive, but infinite and ever-expanding. The more you bless, the more you train your mind to see abundance everywhere. You cease to view life as a competition and begin to experience it as a collaboration with the divine. The law of increase then works through you easily because you no longer block it with feelings of separation or lack. The vibration of blessing opens channels that fear and envy close. Bless everything connected to your prosperity. Bless your work, your talents, your home, your bills, your possessions, and your opportunities. Bless every dollar that passes through your hands, for each one carries the imprint of divine circulation. When you bless your bills, you acknowledge that they represent value received, food eaten, shelter enjoyed, services rendered. When you bless them, you dissolve the vibration of burden and replace it with gratitude. Gratitude attracts more to be grateful for. What you appreciate appreciates. Every blessing you give adds power to the invisible flow of your good. Bless your income and speak lovingly to it. Say, "You are divine substance in action. You multiply and return to me in perfect order." When you receive payment, silently affirm, "This money comes from infinite supply and brings increase to all involved." When you spend money, bless it again. Say, "This money blesses everyone it touches and returns to me multiplied." These words carry energy. They infuse your transactions with the vibration of abundance. The more you bless, the more you become aware of circulation rather than depletion. Money is like blood in the body. It must flow to sustain life. Blessing keeps it in motion. To bless wealth also means to release guilt about possessing it. Many people unconsciously associate money with greed, selfishness, or corruption. These beliefs create inner conflict and repel prosperity. When you bless wealth as divine energy, you dissolve those false ideas. You recognize that wealth in itself is neutral. It simply amplifies the consciousness of its holder. In the hands of the loving and wise, it becomes a tool for good. Bless the idea of wealth so that it may find expression through you in its highest form. say to yourself, "It is good for me to be prosperous. It is good for me to have more than enough to share and to serve." Blessing is an act of faith. It declares abundance even before physical proof appears. When you bless something that seems small, you prepare it for increase. The universe responds to that recognition by multiplying what you honor. If you wish for more income, bless the income you already have. If you desire greater opportunities, bless the opportunities that exist today, however minor they may seem. Bless every client, customer, colleague, or circumstance connected to your work. Each blessing sends a wave of gratitude into the field, and that gratitude draws expansion. Blessing turns every interaction into a sacred exchange. When you meet someone, silently bless them. May divine abundance flow through you. May your life overflow with prosperity and joy. You do not need to speak these words aloud. The vibration itself travels instantly. The energy of genuine goodwill expands the field of abundance for both giver and receiver. Every blessing plants a seed of light in the collective consciousness, and that light returns to you through countless forms. When you bless, you shift from the vibration of wanting to the vibration of having. Wanting says, "I lack." Blessing says, "I already have enough to share." This subtle shift changes everything. It aligns you with the frequency of the giver, and the giver is always supplied. You cannot outgive the universe. Every blessing you send out circles back multiplied. The law of increase ensures that you never lose by blessing another's good. In blessing, you affirm unity, that what blesses one blesses all. Even in moments of challenge, choose to bless. Bless the lesson. Bless the growth. Bless the process of transformation. When you bless your obstacles, they dissolve faster, for you remove the energy of resistance. The act of blessing transforms the vibration of fear into the vibration of acceptance. It tells the universe, "I trust the divine order even in this." That trust opens new doors of provision and insight. Blessing is therefore a key to spiritual mastery. It keeps your consciousness elevated above appearances. To bless all forms of wealth also means to see prosperity beyond money alone. Bless the wealth of health, love, peace, creativity, and wisdom. Recognize that true abundance is multidimensional. When you bless these invisible riches, they multiply just as surely as material wealth. Say, "I bless the wealth of friendship in my life. I bless the wealth of opportunities unfolding. I bless the wealth of joy that fills my days." Each statement sends a wave of appreciation through your reality, attracting even more of that energy. Bless those who appear to have more than you, and bless those who appear to have less. In truth, there is no more or less in the divine mind. There is only flow. When you bless the wealthy, you dissolve any subconscious resentment toward success. When you bless those in need, you affirm that divine supply is already moving toward them. Blessing others lifts the vibration of the entire field in which you exist, and since you are part of that field, you rise with it. Every spiritual tradition speaks of the power of blessing, because it carries the vibration of love, and love is the highest currency of creation. When you speak words of blessing, you are declaring that the divine presence is active in all things. You are recognizing the perfection already present beneath appearances. This recognition is creative power. It transforms what it touches, because it refuses to acknowledge limitation. To bless all forms of wealth and prosperity is to become a conscious participant in the circulation of divine energy. You move from grasping to giving, from fearing to trusting, from scarcity to sufficiency. Each blessing is a breath of faith that keeps the current of abundance alive within you. As you bless, you become a channel through which the infinite can pour more good into the world, for the universe always chooses the open heart through which to flow. To call wealth by name is to recognize that it is alive in consciousness, responsive to thought, obedient to the voice of faith. The universe is not deaf, nor is it distant. It listens to every vibration that proceeds from your words and feelings. When you speak of wealth as if it were a friend, not a stranger, it draws near, for all energy moves toward recognition. To call wealth by name is to give it form in the invisible. You identify it, summon it, and welcome it into the house of your life. Wealth is a vibration, and your words are the signal that guides it home. When you speak to wealth, speak with authority. Do not plead for it or beg it to come. Command it with the calm certainty of one who knows it already belongs to them. Say, "Wealth, you know my name and I know yours. You are part of my divine inheritance. You move toward me freely and joyfully." These words are not mere affirmations. They are decrees, charged with creative energy. Every declaration sets a cause in motion. The invisible responds immediately, for the words spoken in faith cannot return void. The moment you name your good, you establish contact with the substance from which it is formed. Calling wealth by its name means removing the veil of fear and superstition that surrounds it. Many people treat money as if it were a power apart from God, something capricious or untrustworthy. But wealth is simply the visible expression of divine supply. It is a servant, not a master, a form of spiritual energy condensed into material use. When you speak to it with respect and love, it obeys you. When you speak of it with fear or resentment, it withdraws. The universe mirrors the tone of your relationship with it. If you see wealth as something elusive, it remains elusive. If you speak to it as a loyal friend, it becomes loyal in return. To call wealth by name is also to be precise in your language. Vague requests bring vague results. Declare clearly what you wish to experience. Say, "I am now surrounded by divine wealth in perfect circulation. Every avenue of supply is open. Money flows to me in peace, abundance, and joy." Speak these words often, not as a wish but as a statement of truth. The universe loves clarity. It cannot act through confusion. When you give it a clear image, it forms around that image like crystal around a seed. When you call wealth by name, speak from the heart of gratitude. Gratitude carries the vibration of completion. It tells the universe that the thing you name already exists in essence. Say, "Thank you, divine abundance, for revealing yourself in my life. Thank you for every form of prosperity that flows to me and through me." Gratitude magnetizes fulfillment because it affirms that the gift is already received. The more you give thanks for the presence of wealth, the more wealth must appear, for creation rushes to fill the pattern of your appreciation. Calling wealth by name also means withdrawing your attention from the language of lack. Every time you say, "I can't afford this," "Money is hard to come by," or "Nothing ever works out for me," you call poverty by name, and it answers faithfully. The universe does not discriminate between positive and negative. It only responds to the energy of your words. Speak only of what you desire to experience. Replace every phrase of limitation with one of abundance. Instead of saying, "I never have enough," declare, "I am richly supplied at all times." Instead of saying, "Things are getting worse," affirm, "Everything is improving under divine law." In time, your world rearranges itself to match the tone of your speech. There is power in repetition. The more often you call wealth by its name, the stronger the vibration becomes. You are training your consciousness to recognize abundance as normal, not exceptional. The subconscious mind learns through repetition, and once it accepts the idea of constant supply, it will not rest until that belief becomes visible fact. Speak your declarations daily, calmly and joyfully. Speak them in the morning as you awaken, and in the evening as you rest. Let your words become the rhythm of your life until they are woven into your being. To call wealth by name is to embody confidence. Wealth responds to the energy of certainty. It does not come to the hesitant or fearful, but to the one who knows their worth. When you affirm abundance, feel it as truth. Picture wealth surrounding you in golden light, flowing easily toward you. Feel the relaxation that comes with sufficiency, the freedom of knowing there is always more than enough. This feeling of completeness attracts matching conditions. The law of vibration ensures that what you hold within is reflected without. The name you give to wealth must be holy. If you call it struggle, it becomes struggle. If you call it blessing, it becomes blessing. If you call it opportunity, it becomes opportunity. Words are living things. They create after their kind. Therefore, call your wealth beautiful, pure, and free. Speak of it as a tool for good, a channel through which divine love expresses itself in form. When your intention is pure, the universe opens every door for your prosperity. There is no virtue in poverty and no sin in wealth. The only measure is the spirit with which you use it. To call wealth by name is also to honor its presence wherever you find it. When you see prosperity in another, silently affirm, "Wealth, I recognize you. I bless you in that form, and I welcome you in my own." Every act of recognition strengthens your connection to abundance. You begin to see wealth not as something outside you, but as a living energy flowing through all things. The trees, the rivers, the sunlight, the laughter of a child, all are forms of wealth. The more you acknowledge it, the more you tune your vibration to receive it. Calling wealth by name awakens the creative forces that sleep within you. Every human being is a center of divine supply, but few realize it. When you name your good, you awaken the inner reservoir of ideas, inspiration, and opportunity that create material prosperity. You begin to think prosperously, to speak prosperously, and to act prosperously. The outer form of wealth is merely the reflection of this inner abundance. As you call wealth by name, you call forth the talents, skills, and intuition that open the gates of success. When you call wealth by name, do so with reverence, for you are invoking a sacred power. Wealth is not just currency or possession. It is the current of divine energy that sustains all life. It is the rhythm of giving and receiving, the heartbeat of creation itself. To call it by name is to harmonize yourself with that rhythm. Speak to it as you would to a beloved friend, not from need but from love and partnership. Say, "Wealth, you and I work together in perfect balance. Through me, you bless the world." This vibration of unity ensures continuous flow, for what you share multiplies. Every time you call wealth by name, the unseen forces of the universe take notice. They rearrange circumstances, draw people together, and open pathways to fulfill your spoken word. The results may come through opportunities, ideas, synchronicities, or gifts that seem to appear by chance. But nothing is chance in a universe governed by law. The law responds faithfully to the sound of conviction. When you speak, speak as one who knows their words have weight in the invisible. Speak with purpose, for the universe is listening. Wealth is consciousness first, form second. To call it by name is to establish that consciousness. It is to declare, "I am wealth in motion. I am the embodiment of divine abundance." This statement of identity transforms you from a seeker to a creator. You no longer chase after wealth, for you realize you are the source through which it flows. The vibration of ownership draws all matching forms to it. The universe loves a confident creator, for through such consciousness it expresses its fullness. To call wealth by its name is therefore to remember who you are, a spiritual being with command over form, an heir to the infinite treasury of the divine. You speak not to attract something foreign, but to awaken what has always been yours in the unseen. Your word is the key that unlocks the invisible vault of supply. Speak it often, speak it with faith, speak it with love, for every word sends forth a current that moves through the ethers, carrying your name to the gates of abundance, and every gate opens to the voice that calls with certainty.